That is absolutely the loftiest prediction that I've heard. But the underlying point in there is they're talking about an Omni candle. It's like a God candle where it is going to travel and traverse sideways. And there's going to be this moment where everybody decides, oh, Saudi Arabia got in, Mexico got in, Brazil got in. And these numbers, it will become a race, a form of competition to establish dominance in this new ecosystem.
You're listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, where you get valuable information you just can't find anywhere else. To thrive in today's trying times, you need the Financial Survival Network, now more than ever. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and get your free newsletter and gift. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.
And welcome. You are listening to and watching the Financial Survival Network. I'm your host, Kerry Lutz. Hey, I was just on this gentleman's podcast last week, and hey, we're both in about the same generation. We're both into crypto big time. His name is Chris Berlin. Chris, great to have you back on the show. You find him at chrisberlin.com. And any questions or comments, shoot me an email, kl@kerrylutz.com. Chris, hey, you're a Bitcoin enthusiast, proselytizer, missionary, whatever other terms you want to use. How did you begin this journey?
You know, it's interesting. Let's go with the truth. My introduction into crypto was to buy drugs on Silk Road. And at the time we were...
As the statute of limitations run, that's what I want to know.
Yeah, I mean, one would hope so. One would hope so. But listen, I'm old enough where I wear socks and slippers. I don't care anymore. You know, like if you don't like it, that's how it is. But the introduction was buying drugs on the internet. And at the time we went to Brooklyn, and there was a guy, and you could buy Bitcoin, and you bought it on a spreadsheet, a piece of paper, and you gave this guy money, and he gave you an address, and he said, okay, you have Bitcoin. And you're like, what just happened? And you would go log into this dark web website, and you'd put in this code and put whatever you want, and it worked. And I think that's where this term magic internet money came in. And it was brilliant. And it's unfortunate that, I was a kid. And so we were experimenting with drugs and technology at the same time. And
Not necessarily in that order, huh?
Correct. Excuse me. And a bunch of time passed and I got away from crypto. I did not stay a part of it. I did not circle back to crypto until kind of the digital art narrative stepped in toward the end of 2020 and into 2021 when it really started to pick up. That brought my interest back into it. It became the first equalizer I had seen for up-and-coming artists to be recognized in the moment for their artwork and get instant exposure to an audience that was impossible before this blockchain movement. So I thought it was really interesting. I was a touring musician for years, and in Hollywood, California, it got to a point where it's interesting. I lost my train of thought on exactly where I was going with the musical.
All right, but how you got into Bitcoin. So suffice it to say, you got in where it's illicit applications, so buying drugs on the internet, on the dark web,
yes.
The dark web once upon a time. But now, like, Bitcoin's done a 180. It's like totally legit here. You got the biggest names in finance in the world getting involved in it, ETFs, you got options, all this. And we've got, for those of you who are not aware, there's only a couple more million Bitcoins that can be mined before that's it. And,
right.
The other thing Chris, is that like 25% of all the Bitcoin that's been mined so far has been lost. It's floating around there. Like,
and to that point, there is also, I think, still the largest holder is the Satoshi wallet, the creator wallet, and it has never moved. So that people look at that as part of the story and lore that is locked up forever. So it's really interesting. Oh, let me get back to the music real quick. I'm playing music, recording records. You are taken advantage of by the record companies, period.
Your manager, your publishers, everyone.
Right? It's the business. So it's part of being an artist is that middleman is saying, hey, I can give you the exposure, but it comes at a price. They have the key to the door of exposure. Enter the blockchain. And as an artist, you can now put your art on the blockchain and you have instantaneous exposure to every art aficionado that happens to also be on the blockchain. So it became the first means to enter this new arena with no middleman. And even more importantly, if you decide to sell your artwork, whether it's music or digital, and you can even connect physical works to digital NFTs and sell those, we can talk about that too, but you're dealing with the collector. And this is where it's absolutely brilliant is if a collector collects one of your art pieces, it's in their digital wallet. That's probably going to be the same wallet they'll have forever. Now, as an artist, I never lose contact with that collector. In 5 years, if I decide to do a collection, I can look on chain and say, hey, this person still holds my artwork in their wallet. I can look to see where my artwork is. I can decide, hey, I'm going to send each of you my new artwork before I put it on the market. So this connection, it comes through the blockchain. There's no middleman. It's one-to-one. It's a game changer. That's what, in my view, crypto brings to everybody. And it's unfortunate that it got started on the Silk Road narrative, right? But it has done a 180, and we are about to have a president step into power, and he is going to reinforce this narrative that it is no longer something that is filled with deceit. We also have people like Elizabeth Warren that, in my opinion, she throws anything she can at crypto, child pornography, terrorism, drugs, whatever, anything that will stick. And it's just smoke and mirrors. It's smoke and mirrors. This crypto revolution, in my opinion, is here. We are on the infancy stages, and you can gauge that by the financial advisors that still do not offer it to their clients. When the door is so close to opening, it really is.
All right. So what do you think is coming next here? We were pre-call. We were talking about the potential of one analyst saying $800,000 Bitcoin by the end of 25.
That is absolutely the loftiest prediction that I've heard. But the underlying point in there is they're talking about an Omni candle. It's like a God candle where it is going to travel and traverse sideways. And there's going to be this moment where everybody decides, oh, Saudi Arabia got in, Mexico got in, Brazil got in. And these numbers, it will become a race, a form of competition to establish dominance in this new ecosystem. I think many are waiting for, it's almost like price confirmation, where you're waiting to make sure it goes up. To buy this before this, I've been screaming at friends and family since $30,000 this cycle. Please buy this. And you can't convince them to buy. Now that it's $107,000, those same people are saying, hey, Chris, should I buy this now? You should have bought it at $30,000. But yes, I think it is a sound investment. And the other narrative that people don't understand if you're not crypto savvy is people think, okay, Bitcoin is $107,000. I can't afford that. If you can afford to put $10 into Bitcoin. So you can buy any amount of Bitcoin you want at any time. If you have a digital wallet, you can go to Coinbase and turn $10 cash into Bitcoin in a second. You could do that every Friday for the next 2 years. It will change your life 10 years down the road. $10 every Friday will change your life. I'm telling you.
All right. So what about other cryptos? Some of them are nothing more than kleptocurrencies. There's thousands of them out there. What about Ethereum? It's lagged Bitcoin to date. If Bitcoin's going to 800,000, what is Ethereum going to?
Now, it's interesting. I do not. So in my view, Ethereum is the tail of Bitcoin. How far that tail goes, it's been consistent. What's interesting and important now is when we look at technical analysis on cryptocurrency and Bitcoin in particular, we have just moved into a cycle that we can no longer look back upon for chart patterns or analysis. It is a brand new paradigm for the next 3 to 4 years. When you throw in to the mix, which nobody intended or calculated at the time, the ingredient of artificial intelligence and how that is going to propel us to work faster, smarter, quicker, more efficiently, mix that into cryptocurrency, the shift is going to be drastic. And AI doesn't want cash. So there's a bunch of interesting stories and narratives where somebody created an AI robot and gave it a wallet and said, we're going to give you an account on X. We want you to go tweet a token and build hype around it. And this robot has made millions of dollars on this token. And it's an interesting story. It's hilarious. Is it vaporware? Is it part of this meme coin cycle that people are saying is going to just disappear? We can get into that. But yes, I do think Ethereum is the backbone of decentralized finance. Ethereum has a bad rap at the moment because there are gas fees, which they call it GUI. So every transaction on Ethereum, if it's a busy network day, you could pay $200 in a gas fee. Solana, Sui, they do not have those associated fees. So the ease of use for some of these newer blockchains have made Ethereum less fun to work with in the short term. Ethereum has upgrades that are coming down the pike. It is the backbone of decentralized finance. Nothing will ever change that. So the fact that the light is not on Ethereum right now, people are talking about and buying Bitcoin at the highest price it's ever been. I think I love Ethereum right now. I think we definitely see Ethereum in the 8 to 10 range by the end of 2025.
All right. So, Bitcoin will have gone up eightfold from where it is.
No, I love to entertain both sides, right? The highest prediction I've heard recently is $800,000, and it's worth noting because it comes from somebody that knows what they're talking about. And these are all right. We're moving into a cycle that we've never been in. So why not go on wax and make a prediction? And why not call it $800,000 and get on everybody's podcast and become, what you can be wrong. That's fine. But if you're right, oh my goodness, think of the next 4 years of your financial clients. The guy who called Bitcoin at 800. I mean, those stories are really interesting. But this narrative isn't going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. And what's the most important part about this, I think, is oftentimes giant narratives like this change from the bottom up, meaning the youth, as they gain power and get into government, they begin to change the narrative. Crypto, we are having the head of the free world step into power and say, this is going to be king. That's what's just happened. And it's huge. It is huge. It truly is.
All right. Well, so here we got Bitcoin predictions for 2005. Tom Lee predicts 250K. Scaramucci, he doesn't know anything, predicts 200,000. 180K. They're all over the place here. Who are you going to believe?
I don't know. I think that what I do know is that I look at the social movement, right? Like charts are fine and stuff. The social influence, when friends and family that know I'm in crypto, when they begin to text me and email me at $105,000 Bitcoin and say, hey, should I be buying this right now? Right? Enough people that are outside the loop of crypto are starting to knock at my door. It hasn't happened yet. Wait till Trump gets in the White House. So one of the interesting things is one of the promises he made on day one of his presidency is to free Ross Ulbright, right, from Silk Road, the founder of Silk Road. So he's doing a life sentence, and he's a programmer. And yeah, like there's an interesting backstory. It's well worth doing some research on, because the narrative behind it is it's history, and there's a great story in there. So I advise everybody to check it out.
So what about the prospect? Now, this got killed during Obama's administration, when pretty much Zuckerberg said that Facebook was going to issue their own crypto. They'd pay all their vendors in it. They would accept it as payment. And I think it was Janet Yellen who said, no, you can't do that. And that was killed. But that's coming, isn't it? I mean, Tesla will have it. Every major trillion-dollar company will have its own cryptocurrency, right?
You know, that's an interesting narrative. I think I don't even believe it'll be trillion-dollar companies. And so to give you an example, today, there's a mechanism, and it is called pump.fun. And it is a place where people go to launch meme coins. Some meme coins that you may have heard of recently, Moodang.
Just define a meme coin for those of you listening out there.
Yes. Just so this is really interesting. So we have the major cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. Those they call them the majors. They've been around for a minute. Next, we moved into digital art and NFTs as this new tradable asset, and it was fueled by speculation and collectors liking art and deciding there's value in this. And if you guys have ever heard of the artist Beeple, he's the highest paid living artist of all time, period. So he brought all of his art into the digital realm, and his collection had sold at Sotheby's. I mean, he's a very famous artist, and he shed a lot of light on digital technology, and he created this NFT boom. And when crypto started to fall because it's cyclical, the NFTs kind of fell. And around that time, meme coins came in. And a meme coin is a digital tradable asset, just like any other cryptocurrency, but the market cap begins at zero. And so individuals are bored and they want to gamble, in essence, and they will go through the internet and they will find a meme. And a meme is any picture that instantly makes you laugh, giggle.
Right.
So this culture, right? The kids of today, they live on these memes. Everybody, I mean, your phone emoji, that's a meme. That's a meme. So they find these memes and they give it a funny name and they create a token and they drop it on the market. And all of these other people in crypto see it and they're like, oh, that's funny. I'm going to buy this. And they get in super early, and some of these tokens go from zero to $1 billion market cap in a relatively short amount of time. Is there any value behind it? There's nothing. It's vaporware. It's a mechanism that people are using to gamble with, but people are doing it. People go to casinos. People play roulette and slot machines. It is no different. It is the digital version of that. So when we talk about how many coins have been minted today, and when I say minted, I'm talking about the number of new cryptocurrencies that were created in the last 12 hours. 12,405 new cryptocurrencies have been created already today. So this is, whether you like it or not, whether you believe in digital assets as a thing, when we look at a number like that and the volume, we're talking about, just to give you an idea, in the last 24 hours, we're talking about $320 million worth of volume in the last 24 hours for this new gambling mechanism that's in its infancy stage. So it's,
who wants to be left holding the bag here? You could definitely become a bag holder, right?
Instantly, people buy these things and you get absolutely wrecked. The win-loss ratio for participants is about 1%. You have better odds going into a casino with the same amount of money than you do playing this meme coin game. And then
you have better odds in the casino.
And then you think that most of these traders, they're very sophisticated. They're crypto savvy. They have trading bots. They're using algorithms. They have been creating code their entire life. And now that there's this vehicle where they can put their coding skills to work in this digital world, it is a new world is emerging. And the force of that part will come from the bottom up. It's great that Trump is going to advocate for crypto on the whole, but the younger generation, these kids, what do kids do that are in grade school or high school? Do you study for your SATs to go to university, or do you dial into the computer and learn how to become a wonderful prompt engineer? That's not even a thing anymore. You're going to have your own artificial assistant. Everybody is. And it will be, you'll buy this assistant like you buy a car, and it will look through all of your social past. It will get to know exactly who you are, how you operate, what you think about, and it will become your best friend. It will look at your past life mistakes and figure out, oh, wow, this is when he went off the rails. I see this behavior. We're going to start.
When did you meet my wife here? This is my ex-wife. This is exactly what she did. That's why I got rid of her.
These are going to be malleable. I'm done here in your lip. Not anymore today. You can tell me to not eat sweets tomorrow, but yeah, screw off today. So that's
great. All right, man. Well, hey, this has been a blast, Chris. We'll definitely have you on again. It's good to have somebody in the similar generation I could relate to here, because we're outliers. My best friend, oldest, dearest friend, a couple of weeks ago, he told me, I think he was in an ETF or a Bitcoin ETF. He told me his holdings up to 800K. So now he's got to be a 1.2 or 3 million. And this is in a matter of weeks here, and I've been buying it, but I didn't do the ETF thing because I just thought it was a scam. But now
it's real.
It's all about, all of Wall Street getting in there is trying to stop from being cut out as an intermediary, because they get their 3% and throwing enough money into this in hopes they can manipulate the price, just like they do to the price of gold and silver and every other commodity in the world. But the problem is they might be out GameStop on this one. Chris, just tell us again, where do we find you? How do we connect with you on the web?
ChrisBerlin.com. My handle on X is BeatBroker, and my Substack is beatbroker.substack.com.
All right. The links are in the show notes. This interview on financialsurvivalnetwork.com. And we just urge you, when you go there, please sign up for your free newsletter, like so many, over 60,000 FSN community members have done already. And if you've got a question, comment for Chris, myself, KL@KarrieLutz.com. Chris, been a pleasure. We'll talk to you again soon.
It was awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, your solution to today's trying times. For the latest, go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.